Hey everyone, welcome to our session inside the open source AI toolkit, Innovation in the Data Cloud. I'm Shankar. I lead the Snowflake ISV team at Microsoft. I'm also a Snowflake data superhero, and I have the privilege to join by my good friend Vivekanandan.
Thanks for the kind intro. Myself, Vivek. I work for Verizon. I'll take care of the GenAI team there. I'm also another data superhero and happy to connect with you guys. Over to you, Shankar.
So we're going to see what this session about, right? Look at some of the challenges, what led us in building this toolkit, see a sneak peek of the toolkit, and finally going to the fun part, which is going to be the live demo. Right. Before I start, the toolkit is an inspiration as an add-on to the book that me and Vivek wrote. The book is about Snowpark. If you're interested in learning more about it, please do visit the URL snowparkbook.com. And before we start, what are the challenges in adopting AI, right? We work with a lot of customers and also use AI on a day-to-day activities for various enterprises and organization. And one of the things what we got from leaders when we asked them the question, what are the challenges in getting them started in adopting AI, right? One is the unclear AI needs. Every company now wants to use AI, but deep inside, they don't really know where they want to use the AI for, right? And second thing is for a good AI, data is the core important component that are required. And there is a data chaos because organizations still have data across various different silos. They also have data across various different databases and various different data owners managing it. There is always a business and an IT disconnect that comes in between on what business needs versus what IT can deliver, right? Leaders have a pressure to prove value fast as AI keeps changing on a day-to-day basis and keeps improving. They have a huge pressure to prove the value fast, right? And in spite of all this, for a commercial enterprise, AI is still out of reach for most users. What that means by is for the users to finally adopt and use AI, they need to solve all of the above problems before they can get into a usable AI. And this is what led us and motivated us in building this Snowflake AI toolkit, right? This tool is nothing but it's a basic AI accelerator and a playground. It's a plug and play Streamlit based application. You can run it locally. You can also deploy it as a Streamlit in Snowflake, right within the Snowflake environment. It has various different features like playground, build, search, and various different agent features. We're going to see all of these in the demo that's going to follow through. It is completely powered by Snowflake Cortex AI and other AI functions. So it's built natively using the Snowflake features. It's completely open source. You're free to fork it, modify it, use it for your various different enterprise, and even build apps on top of it. Like I said, it works both as a local mode as well as it works in a Streamlit in Snowflake as well. And why did we create a toolkit, right? So when we started this toolkit project, Cortex was just starting within Snowflake almost a year and a half before. So we created this for bringing in various different features which did not exist back then, right? The main thing that we wanted to do is change the AI bus into an actual business impact, right? So organizations and customers can actually start, leveraging and applying AI directly with the data within Snowflake. It is completely built on the trusted data foundation. So because it is powered completely by Snowflake Data AI Cloud, you're already leveraging the state-of-the-art technology that is available within Snowflake, where it solves a lot of the data problems that are required for AI and brings your data ready and making it actually into an AI-ready data. We are bridging both business and IT with usable AI, basically because it's a UI-based drag and drop functionality. Even the business users who have access to the data can actually start building AI and building prototypes directly on top of it. We wanted to provide a feature of accelerated proof of value for the leaders, right? Instead of them just talking about or wishing what they want to build, they can actually start building POV very, very quickly with the data that's already in Snowflake. We want to make sure AI is for everyone and not just for data scientists or not just for AI developers who are techies. Although the toolkit is open source, so even for those technical folks, they can fork the code, change the UI, build a lot of things on top of it. And finally, we did have some free time, and as you can see, we have a little bit of difficulty of falling asleep. So we did find this as a way to spend a lot of time in building this toolkit and contributing back to the community. So what you can do with this toolkit, right? You can quickly explore various different Cortex AI's native features, be it functions, be it agents, be it Cortex search, analyst, all of those different capabilities. You can build rapid prototypes and AI-driven solutions directly on top of Snowflake using the data that is already in Snowflake. You can deploy various different use cases like RAG, do fine-tuning with your own custom data sets, pick different models that are available, and even build agents. You can take the code, extend it, customize it to any specific use cases or organization needs. It would help you shorten the development time because we have provided a lot of pre-built functions, so you don't have to build everything from scratch rather than take what is available and just build on top of it. And this is something that we keep hearing from a lot of students who are using this as part of learning the new certification in Snowflake for the AI and data science. You can practice, easily learn and practice various different Snowflake AI features, right? So one or even the demos, what we are using is part of a quick start data set. So you can build various different features and learn and practice them directly using the toolkit. And now I pass it to Vivek for actually showing you how the toolkit works live in demo.
Hey, thanks a lot, Shankar. That was an excellent intro to the Snowflake AI Toolkit, right? That actually elevates the session. So without further ado, I'll directly go into the repo and then I'll show you how to install and then get started with the demo part. So what you see here, right, is where the repo lies in. So it's in Snowflake Labs. So if you could see it, right, if you go to Snowflake Labs, and this is one of the top rated repos in Snowflake Labs. So how we can actually install it is, you can directly go here and click on the particular repo, which is ours, and then quickly go to the installation part. It just gives you two simple steps. Those who already worked on Python or any other language, right? It's more easy. You just clone the repo from the GitHub and then do the installation to the requirement.txt. So once you do, you can go back to your terminal and then up it something like this. Streamlit run, streamlit app.py. So that's as simple as that. And once you install it, you can open the toolkit in two different modes. The one is in your debug mode, that is in your local, where you can do your development at the same time. You can also start improving what you see on the screen. And the next one is what I prefer you guys to do. So it runs natively inside the Snowflake as Streamlit in Snowflake as a SIS platform. So once you go there, you no need to worry about the governance security, right? Because it runs within the Snowflake layer. So what I'm going to cover as a part of the demo is I'm going to start from a simple prompt use case to the agentic solution that Snowflake Cortex can offer. So this is what we're going to cover in next 15 minutes. So I'm just going to do some hello world with it as a very first step, right? So once you go into the toolkit, all you could see is what is it all about and what are all the resources there. From here also, you can go to the GitHub article, Medium article and the GitHub repo. So once you install it, on the left pan, there is something called components. Click on it. You're going to do most of your stuffs in the playground where you'll be playing around with most of the Cortex functionalities. And then there is a build, Cortex search and agent, which I'll be covering in our sessions. So let's go to playground. So those who already worked on the Cortex, right? Snowflake has introduced the AA SQL very recently. So once you've come into a toolkit, then it's not just about trying these functionalities, right? So once you go back and then install these things, what our installation step does for you? So once you do these steps and once you see this native app running inside your Snowflake, if you go to our Explorer and then you could see a Snowflake AI Toolkit database is already created for you. And then there is a demo schema which already deployed for you. So you go into the tables, you could see all these tables pre-populated. So how these tables helps you? It helps you from a simple prompt use case to the agentic part where everything is installed for you. So if you quickly wanted to try out Cortex, I think you just need to install. You don't need to worry about data source to see and what kind of prompts to try out. And okay, if you wanted to try out an image, where to go and find an image, even from a simple prompt, even to a search analyst and a agent functionality, it's all pre-built for you. All you have to do is install and then come back to this playground so that you can play around with it. So as the very first one, right, I'm going to do some simple hello world examples here. You could see here, right, most of the things are already built for you. When you go to AI Complete, you have three different modes. Those who already worked, right, they know about it. There is a text and the image and the prompt object. Let's try a couple of them. So you keep simply type in a simple prompt to the RAG. You can select your models. We have provided all the models which is currently supported in Snowflake. And if you go to the model parameters, right, you could also play around with the model parameters, enable guardrails and everything. So what I want to do here, just run it. So you no need to write a prompt, right? As a first starting. So you're just processing and hitting the LLM model and then fetching you the result. As simple as that. If you wanted to see your output in audio mode, you can also click on this audio button, which plays it for you. That is also another hidden feature, which I'll talk about in the end of the session. So this is done. So what next? Let's do another simple prompt using an image. So if you go into the image part, right, you no need to worry about what image to get. So, because if you wanted to try it out, you need to take an image and push that into our stage and then use it, right? But here, it's already been built for you. There is a AI toolkit demo schema, which I showed you. Under my images, you could already see some images pre-populated for you. All you have to go is select the model you wanted to. Maybe I can pick this and then simply come here and then click enter. It just takes that image, sends it for processing, and then produces the summary of the contents for you. So, so there's an input image, that's a tiger, and it also gives you an image description. So these are very simple examples, right? I want to quickly pick something else like an A aggregate, right? Where you can play around with the table. Because the actual fun part in the Snowflake is playing around with these functionalities on top of a table, right? Where you have a millions of rows. So all I'm going to do here is I'm going to aggregate some data. So I'm going to take a table. So I have given you a few tables to play around. I'm going to pick a simple reason table where there are comments about why the product has been returned to the customer. So all I'm going to go here is pick the text column, which I wanted to create a summary of it. And then I say summarize the cancel reasons for it, right? Just pick run. So it just takes this table and then particular column and then creates you to overall aggregated summary results for you. As simple, right? You no need to worry about writing a SQL, Python, picking a table and all these things. Done. So that is all about the playground, right? We just touched the scratch of it. So what is the build comprises of? So when I go into build, all you could see here is the same set of functions, but there is a difference, right? You could see legacy functions also here. You can go back to the settings and you can also enable your legacy functions. So once you come back to the build, I have my legacy functions, which I want to try out. It looks very similar to your playground, but with a slight difference. All these functionalities are kept, but you can also select your table. On top of it, you can try out your prompts. For example, in this case, I'm going to take, maybe I take medical notes and there is a text column in it. So this is a common use case in most of the industry, right? You have a particular table which contains a column which has a huge text value. For example, in this case, it's a medical history about each and every patient. As you could see, it's a huge one. If you wanted to quickly create a summary on top of it, or to create a translate on top of it, right? That is where your build comes in. You can start creating your pipelines on top of your tables. So what I want to do here is I quickly go here and then say, you are a summarize of what? Summarize the text column in less than 20 words. So all you have to go here is select your output table and the column you wanted to write. Since it is a short demo, I quickly go back and then show you how it looks. So it just creates a new table if your table name is medical notes summary and see what it produces for you just by clicking a button. It just takes your medical notes table and that particular column, your text column, and then it quickly created a summary on top of it. Imagine the plethora of opportunities available, right? You can now take this table, medical notes summary table, automatically this view will be refreshed for you with the newest one. Then you can also create something else on top of it, like a translate, like an extract, those things that you can extract the patient detail, patient age. Those things can be easily appended on top of these results. So we started from a prompt and we went into a table. The most common use case in most of the industry is creating a chatbot on top of it, right? Like a simple RAG or a Cortex search. So what I'm going to do next is how to create a simple RAG application and use it to create a chatbot. That's what we're going to see next as a functionality. So in the same build, there is a section called RAG. All you can go is just go and then select as a part of the demo environment itself. I have given you few PDF files which you can play around with it. So you can simply come here and then select your embedding models and then create an embedding on top of it. Once you create an embedding, right, this is how it looks like. For example, I create something on top of my repair manuals in this case. If you go here, so what is the RAG is all about? You take a particular PDF and then you chunk it into smaller ones and then create some embedding so that you can query against it. That is what this also does. It takes all these PDF files and then cut it into small chunks and then created the embeddings on top of it. Imagine you're writing a SQL or Python for it, right? It takes minimum 50 to 100 lines to do the same operation, where you can quickly prototype here just using this toolkit. So once you created your app, where you can go and play around with it, that's where the playground lies on, right? So similar to AI SQL, we have another functionality called chat. Once you go into the chat, all the functions which are already created as a part of the build, which will be available here. For example, in this case, RAG, you no need to create any. As a part of the demo, we will be giving you a couple of RAG use cases which you can play around. In this case, it's a repair manual embeddings, and you can also use the others. So it's already been selected for you, where you can simply go and then type in a query. For example, I can simply type some queries like what I can do. So this is about a particular robo and the corresponding repair manual of it. I want to type in a simple query like this. Auto 100 is wobbling. How do I troubleshoot and fix the issue, right? So since we have already created the RAG, you can simply go and start querying this. It gives you the interactive environment to play around, right? Within the matter of 4 5 minutes, I created a chatbot on top of your data. Yeah. Hola. Done, right? As simple as that. You can do a follow-up question. It's more of a conversational thing. You can play around with it. So what is the next one? So similar to your RAG, there is another functionality called search. It also indexes your data, but is a form of a table. For example, there is a medical notes here, right? And I go here. As you've already seen, there is a text column associated with it. I can quickly create an index on top of it using the Cortex search, and then I can start querying it with a very complex query. One such query I'm going to show you. I'm going to quickly create one, and then I'm going to show you how to query those. So you can come back to our toolkit. There is a section called Cortex search. Click on it. There is a create and display. Create the service, give your service name, and then pick your database. In this case, I'm going to take Snowflake AI Toolkit. And what is my table name? It's a medical notes. And then I'm going to pick my text column. So I can pick the attributes like what has to be used along with my indexing, right? I'm going to say this subject ID, this text column, using this model, you can create it. Okay. Since as a part of the demo, we have already created one search for you. So you can always go back and try it out. You can also create it on your own. You can also upload your new data to the stage and then create something new if you wanted. So I'm quickly going to go here and it's already been populated. I'm going to say some two results. I'm going to limit my results to two. Let's say how specific a question can be. Just want to pick one complex question. I'm going to do here. Imagine you have millions and rows of data, and then without Cortex search, you want to do something like this on your SQL, right? Imagine how big your SQL is going to be. See the kind of query I've written. It's a very selective query, right? A particular patient with a particular condition and with a particular treatment. So I'm just going to click this. So before it produces the result, right? I know the people should be understanding what is a RAG and what is a search, right? If you have a bunch of PDF or doc files, create the RAG on top of it. If you have a table which contains your text column, you can create a search on top of it. Both works in a similar way. It indexes your result and able to uh, give you results on your natural language way, right? That's what it's producing. So it says there is a second medical record which produces this, and from the first medical record, you could see this. As simple as that. So, how you want it to use? There is a separate section in the build. It's not about just using your models, but you can also create your fine-tuned models on top of it. We also have a provision to do it. For example, you can go back to your fine-tune section. For example, your prompt engineering is not providing you good results, and you also grounded the result using the RAG. it's still not producing the result, the kind of result you wanted with your enterprise data, right? You can always take your base model from the Snowflake and you can fine tune on top of it. So we also given you some provisions. For example, if you wanted to fine tune in Snowflake, right, to write a bunch of SQL and other things to do, right? You have to come up with your own data sets to be produced for it. For example, I just show you how the fine tune can work. Maybe we'll also show the view. Maybe I can quickly show it here. I go back and then select a table which I wanted to use. Go to demo. So what is it showing here? Not all tables can be used to fine tune your particular model, right? It has to be in a specific format. Snowflake expects it, right? There should be a prompt column. There should be a completion column. For example, I'll pick a table which we have already loaded it for you. Let's say, right, those who are from the uh, machine learning world, right? You'll be already knowing about it. What is that? Train and the validation. You'll be training with something, and then you have a data set to validate it. So how this data set looks like? I quickly go to the train samples, go to the data preview of it. So you have to tell the model if this is a kind of question you are asking, this is how you should respond. That's how you fine tune a model, right? You take a base model and then say, with the thousands of questions and then say, hey, if I ask a question, you should reply like this. So once you do this, for example, you come here and then you select your train and validate. I have given a simple example. In a similar way, you can also create your own. You could take a base model and then you can go back and then type in your new model name, say run. Once you create it, you can always go back to your database. It already been created for you under wherever you have created, right? Your fine-tuned models. For example, there's a model section here. All these models are fine-tuned using this. You can also create your one. So once you fine-tune it, right, you can also come back and then there is a section base model, right? You could also select your fine-tuned models and start using it. It's as quick as this, right? But you no need to worry about how fast the process is going to be. For example, fine-tune will be a time-consuming one. What happens if I go back and then fine-tune my model? The screen will freeze since it is a Streamlit application, right? Especially in AI Toolkit, you no need to worry about it. Since we have written it in an asynchronous way, you can always create one function. It runs at the back and you can always interact with it later. So once it is completed, you can go back to the notification and then you can see whether it's done or not, where it will be produced as a table for you. Okay, what is done and what is not done. It will generate a table for you for the date ranges you have prepared. So I quickly go back and then I wanted to cover one simple part as a part of this. Since you started from prompt, and we covered the RAG and Cortex search and the fine tune. The end I wanted to complete it with the very latest one from the Cortex is using the agents. So those who are from the AA world, right? Agent requires certain things to be done. Like if you have an agent, you should have a tool and the tool resources, right? Right now, Cortex gives you three types of tools to be used. The one is your Cortex Analyst, where you have a text to SQL to the direct answer. And then you have a Cortex search. And you can also write your custom functions, which can be used as a part of your tools, like your store procedure or UDF. So you can always, similar to your RAG search, you can come here and then you can create your agents. For example, I'm creating my new agents. So how to add a tool here? You can come and then click on add. So for example, I wanted to use my Cortex text to SQL as a tool. You could see it's automatically been loaded, right? You can go back to your database and the schema, which we have created as a part of the installation. If you go to the stage, there is a specific stage called sample files, and it automatically gives you a YAML model to use. So from the prompt till the agentic solution, right? We have kept every necessary files and the tables for you to easily start up and running and then creating your prototypes. Right? You can also come and create your own and it will be automatically auto-populated here so that you can start using it. So similarly, I can go back and then add a new tool. For example, in this case, I wanted to try a search tool. You can go and say, okay, this is my database and this is my schema. So it gives you a search option to select from it, right? Which you can use. You have to create the search and then come and sync that search here. You cannot create it here. It's always you create it in the search section, and whatever is being created, right, you can always use it here. So I have covered most of the things. There are certain simple things which will be available as a part of the local mode, which I wanted to cover. It's currently not available in your native solutions. For example, if you go here, go to the playground, you could see a voice input icon here. So as you've already seen in the other section, right, when the results are produced, you can go back and then play the audio of it. But you can also give your voice input where you can click on this button and then say, hey, this is my prompt. Why don't you try it and let me know? For example, summarize the product reviews into the start statement of our customers, which you can provide it in your voice as well. This functionality is also available in your chat section for your RAG, especially when it comes to a conversational things, right? In your RAG, search and other thing, you can also use your voice command to interact with your data. So I think Shankar, I covered it from the prompt to the agentic part, right? I quickly hand over it to you so that you can do the other parts and then cover from your end. Thanks, Shankar.
Thank you, Vivek, for the awesome demo. Now let's see what we are planning for the toolkit, right? As part of the 2.0, we are looking to revamp a lot of different things within the toolkit, considering a lot of these features are now available even within Snowflake as part of Snowflake Intelligence. So we're thinking of rebranding it and revamping the entire stuff so that we can add a lot more value to what is already available within Snowflake. We also have a roadmap action of planning into introducing TrueLens into it, right, to help for various different AI observability and monitoring. We are looking to bring in agentic interfaces as part of the new MCP server that Snowflake has. This also would mean extending and connecting to various different MCP sources and destinations within Snowflake to going outside of various different MCP servers that are outside Snowflake. We are going to bring in a standardized APIs. We are planning to bring in standardized APIs for apps within the container services, so expanding beyond just Streamlit, but also doing some basic functionality that helps organizations build apps within the container services. And one of the most asked feature is to build demos specific by industry, right? By bringing in the industry depth, we want to build demos that various different customers in industries can start using the standardized data set and adopting the standardized demo, so that even helps them accelerate the POV. And if you're interested, you can access the Snowflake Toolkit. It's part of the Snowflake Labs GitHub repository. The URL is on the screen, and the QR code also redirects to the URL. So I would recommend, if you're interested, do start the repository, fork it, check it out, play around with it, and we are always open for various different feedbacks around it. And with this, thank you so much for staying on with the session. We are looking forward connecting with you even offline post session.
Thanks, Shankar, and thanks everyone for attending the session. We are just a ping away in LinkedIn. We can connect to us over the LinkedIn and we can talk more about the toolkit and also about the book. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.